If you've been feeling like the world is spinning a little too fast these days, you are not alone. Welcome to 2025, a year that feels less like a new chapter and more like a cliffhanger in a TV show we can't turn off. There's this low-level hum of anxiety in the air, a constant feeling that the ground beneath our feet isn't as solid as it used to be. It's in the conversations we have with friends, the headlines we scroll past on our phones, and the quiet moments when we think about what the future holds for our kids. This isn't just about one bad news day, it's a persistent, global sense of instability, a feeling that the rules we thought we knew are being rewritten on the fly, and nobody gave us a copy of the new script. This feeling of unease is a shared global experience, connecting people from Johannesburg to Jakarta to Kansas City. It's the stress of watching grocery prices climb while your paycheck stubbornly stays the same. It's the worry of seeing another headline about international tensions and wondering if a politician's tweet could disrupt your job or your supply chains. It's the exhaustion that comes from trying to plan for next year or even next month when everything feels so profoundly unpredictable. This isn't just a mood, it's a rational response to a world in flux, where the once reliable pillars of society, stable jobs, predictable politics, a dependable climate, are all shaking at the same time. We're all passengers on a plane experiencing some serious turbulence, and a lot of us are gripping our armrests a little tighter. The source of this collective stress isn't a mystery, it's the result of multiple crises hitting us all at once, creating a feedback loop of uncertainty. Think about it, a political conflict on one side of the world can trigger trade wars that make your new phone more expensive. Technological advances like AI promise a brilliant future but also threaten millions of jobs, creating a weird mix of hope and fear. Extreme weather events, once rare, now feel like a seasonal feature, disrupting farming, travel, and daily life. It's this interconnectedness that makes 2025 feel so overwhelming. A problem anywhere can quickly become a problem everywhere, and we're all feeling the ripple effects in our daily lives, from our bank accounts to our mental health. What we are witnessing is a profound mismatch between the world we built and the world we now live in. Our institutions, our economies, and even our ways of thinking were designed for a slower, more predictable era. Now they are straining under the weight of 21st century pressures. The feeling of instability comes from the realization that the old answers no longer fit the new questions. People are working harder than ever but finding it more difficult to get by. Governments are struggling to keep up with the pace of technological and environmental change. This isn't just a phase. It's a fundamental transition, and the discomfort we feel is the growing pain of a world trying to figure out what comes next. So, what are the ingredients in this global cocktail of anxiety? First, and most visibly, are the wars and geopolitical tensions simmering across the globe. It's not just about the front lines you see on the news, it's about the ripple effects. When major powers get into trade disputes, slapping tariffs on everything from solar panels to rice, it creates economic shockwaves. The International Monetary Fund has warned that this fragmentation could shrink the global economy by trillions of dollars. For the average person, this isn't an abstract number. It translates to companies moving their factories, which means job losses in one country and strained infrastructure in another. It means your local store might have empty shelves because a shipping route was disrupted, as major retailers have warned. Then there's the economy, which for many feels like a constant battle. The cost of living crisis hasn't gone away, it has just put on a new disguise. Inflation might be cooling in some places, but prices for essentials like food and housing remain stubbornly high, squeezing household budgets. The dream of owning a home feels further away for a whole generation. At the same time, the risk of a recession in major economies like the United States looms large, creating a sense of job insecurity. This economic pressure is like a background static that never turns off. It fuels social unrest and deepens the divide between those who are thriving and those who are just trying to hang on, making everyday life a tightrope walk. On top of all this, we have the twin forces of climate change and technological disruption. It's no longer possible to ignore the fact that our weather is getting more extreme and unpredictable. Floods, wildfires, and droughts aren't just distant news stories. They are local emergencies that destroy homes, disrupt agriculture, and strain our emergency services. Meanwhile, the rise of artificial intelligence is another wild card. While AI offers incredible potential for things like medical breakthroughs and quality control in manufacturing, it also brings a deep-seated fear of job displacement. When people hear that AI can do their job faster and cheaper, it creates a legitimate anxiety about their future and their purpose in the economy. Finally, all these external pressures are taking a massive toll on our mental health. Living with constant uncertainty is exhausting. Rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout are on the rise globally. We are more connected than ever through technology, yet many people report feeling more isolated. The pressure to keep up, to stay informed, and to navigate a world that feels increasingly hostile is a heavy burden to carry. This isn't a sign of individual weakness, it's a collective response to a world that is demanding more from us than ever before, while often providing less support in return. The perfect storm of crises isn't just happening out there, it's happening inside our heads too. A big reason 2025 feels so chaotic is that we are trying to navigate a 21st century world with 20th century tools. Our core systems, government, education, healthcare, and the economy, were designed for a different time, a time of relative stability, predictable career paths, and national borders that meant more. Think of our education system. It was largely built to prepare people for factory work and lifelong careers at a single company. Today we need a system that teaches critical thinking, adaptability, and digital literacy for a gig economy where people might have multiple careers. Yet, we're still mostly stuck with a model that prioritizes memorization over problem solving, leaving graduates unprepared for the modern workforce. The same is true for our political systems. Representative democracy was a revolutionary idea, but it was designed for an era when information traveled slowly. Today, our governments struggle to respond to crises that unfold in real time on social media. They are often bogged down by bureaucracy and partisan gridlock, making them seem slow and ineffective in the face of rapid challenges like a pandemic or a climate disaster. People see problems getting worse and they feel like their leaders are either unable or unwilling to act. This erodes trust and leaves citizens feeling powerless, wondering if the system is even capable of solving the problems that matter most to them. Our economic model is another system showing its age. It was built on the idea of perpetual growth and resource extraction, a model that doesn't account for the finite nature of our planet. The result is a system that generates massive wealth but also creates staggering inequality and environmental damage. We see this when corporations post record profits while their workers struggle to afford rent, or when economic growth comes at the cost of polluted rivers and a destabilized climate. People are starting to question whether a system that prioritizes profit above all else is truly serving the well-being of humanity. The cracks are showing, and the strain is becoming unbearable for both people and the planet. Healthcare is yet another example. Our systems are often designed to treat sickness rather than prevent it. They are complex, expensive, and difficult to navigate, especially as populations age and chronic illnesses become more common. In many countries, access to quality care depends more on your income than your need. We have incredible medical technology, but the system for delivering it is often fragmented and inefficient. This mismatch means that even as we make scientific advances, many people are left behind, unable to afford the care that could keep them healthy. All these outdated systems create a feeling that we are stuck, trying to fix modern, complex problems with tools that are no longer up to the task. Even though things feel overwhelming, this moment of crisis is also a moment of opportunity. The breakdown of old systems is forcing us to imagine new ones. All over the world, people are having conversations about how we can build a future that is more fair, sustainable, and humane. One of the most talked about ideas is universal basic income, the concept of giving every citizen a regular, unconditional payment to cover their basic needs. The thinking is that this could provide a safety net in an age of automation, reduce poverty, and give people the freedom to retrain, start a business, or care for family members. It's a bold idea, but its growing popularity shows that people are ready to think outside the box. Similarly, people are exploring new forms of democracy to make governments more responsive and participatory. Instead of just voting every few years, what if citizens could be more directly involved in making decisions that affect their communities? Ideas like citizens' assemblies, where randomly selected people come together to learn about an issue and make recommendations, are gaining traction. These models aim to break through political gridlock and rebuild trust by putting people back at the center of governance. It's about upgrading our political software to match the complexity of the modern world. These are not easy fixes, but they are signs of a world searching for better ways to live together. So how do we get through this difficult time without losing hope? The key is to focus on what you can control. You can't single-handedly solve climate change or global economic instability, and trying to do so will only lead to burnout. But you can control how you respond. This could mean focusing on your local community, supporting local businesses, volunteering for a cause you care about, or simply getting to know your neighbors. It could mean managing your information diet, staying informed without letting the constant flood of bad news paralyze you. Building small circles of stability and influence in your own life is a powerful antidote to feeling helpless in the face of large-scale problems. Most importantly, remember to connect with others. This is not a journey to be taken alone. Talking to friends, family, and neighbors about your fears and hopes can be incredibly powerful. It reminds you that you are not the only one feeling this way and fosters a sense of solidarity. These connections are the foundation upon which larger movements for change are built. History shows us that periods of great upheaval are often followed by periods of incredible progress. It takes time, and the path is never straight, but the current turbulence could be the catalyst for building a more resilient and compassionate world. We have the chance to write a better story together.